Welcome back to the Kiwi Wedding Podcast. My name is Lydia. I'm an Auckland wedding photographer and your host. This week I'm joined by Latasha, and I honestly love this chat. She takes us right back to the story of how she and her husband met. Their little meet cute while she was working at a restaurant. He was dining. She instantly noticed him and made sure she was the one looking after his table. We hear about their beautiful proposal moment and full circle aftermath, her very clear vision for the day, think vintage Italian, old money, lilacs and periwinkle tones, and why Mantells Mount Eden was the only venue they viewed. Latasha shares what went into creating a day that felt luxe and intimate but still fun and effortless, the violinist setting the mood, a champagne tower post-ceremony, cocktail hour and a dance floor that absolutely went off, and she tells us why choosing amazing vendors made all the difference. She's really open about the side of wedding planning that people don't always talk about, how isolating it can feel when you're carrying the mental load and trying to get everything perfect. Plus, we chat about what came after the wedding and how the whole experience actually inspired Latasha to start her own wedding planning business, Reverie Weddings, to support other couples through the process without it feeling so heavy and lonely. Quick one before we get into it. If you're planning your wedding and you want more real-world advice like this in your inbox, you can join my newsletter, The Love Letter. It's short, helpful, and very wedding brain friendly. Sign up in the show notes. Enjoy episode 134 with Latasha. Hi Latasha, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. So excited to chat all about your wedding and story today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yay, so good. So yeah, to get started, as you probably know how these questions go, if you can kind of take us back to the beginning, tell us the story of how you guys met and a bit about your life together.
So I met Tom when I was 19, actually, and we met pretty organically. I was working at a restaurant and him and his best friend came in for dinner, and they both sat in my section. And as soon as I saw Tom, I went to all the other waitresses that I was working with, and I was like, no one goes near table 18. And I just like called dibs on him for the night, and his best friend kept going off for work calls. And then so I kept going over to Tom and chatting him up, and he was chatting me up, and so we just talked the whole night while his friend was just constantly out and about. The night got really busy. They ended up leaving. We didn't get a chance to say goodbye to each other, but later in the week, I ran into his best friend while I was out day drinking with my girlfriends. And then we became friends with him, started partying with him for the rest of the week. And then we were out at a bar one night, and I was like, oh, who was the guy that you brought in the other night to my restaurant? And he was like, oh, that's my best friend, Tom. And I was very, very forward back then. So I was like, call him right now and tell him to come out that I want to see him. And then he didn't end up coming out that night, but he added me on Facebook a couple of days later. And then we went out to drinks and we just hung out every day since. And that was when I was 19 and I'm 28 now. So it's been quite a while. Just a nice little meet cute with best buds.
Oh, so good. Love a meet cute in the wild. Like, don't hear of that often these days. In the restaurant, then, going after him. Love it.
The low lighting, the flirty banter, it was great.
Yeah, so you're together quite a while then and then got engaged. Can you tell us a bit about your proposal story?
He actually had two really well thought out plans. I had no idea it was coming because over the years I had been like, oh, I want to get engaged, I want to get married. And he was like, yeah, soon, soon. And then as the years went on, I was like, oh, he's taking forever. It's never going to happen. So when he actually did it, I had no clue at all. And it was our anniversary weekend, which also falls on the same weekend as my dad's birthday. So I had planned a big thing for my dad's birthday, a big event for all of us to go to and activities and stuff. And Tom wanted to take me to Waihi. He's got a batch there. And there's like a secret beach that we used to go to all the time, the first few summers that we were together. And it's a beautiful hike and it takes you to a secluded beach where it's just you two. So he was planning to do that. But because I planned my dad's birthday, that fell through. And then he planned to take me to Waiheke to go to Manawar because Manawar is my favorite wine. We even had Manawar for our wine for the wedding day. So I'm a very big fan of it. So he planned a big day for that. And then the weather report said that it was going to be storming the whole day. So he cancelled that, comes to our anniversary, and the day is perfect, clear skies and super sunny. So he was like, oh. And so on our anniversary day, he was just super quiet, was barely talking to me. I thought he was annoyed at me or angry at me for something, because he was just in such a bad mood, and he kept going to the spare room, being like, I'm having a nap, like, leave me alone for the day. And I was like, okay. Turns out it was because he was super, super nervous. And his two plans fell through. So he just planned to do something really intimate at home. And we'd booked to go out to dinner with my family. And we'd booked the restaurant that Tom and I met at as well. And we'd booked the actual table as well. He didn't do it there, thank goodness. But we were getting ready to go out. And then he comes into the room and he's like, oh, are you excited to go out tonight? And I was like, we're just going out to dinner with my family. Like, it's nothing big. We're not celebrating anything. And he was like, yeah, we are. And I was like, what? And then turn around and he's gotten down on one knee. But I've honestly blacked the whole thing out. Like, I can't even remember what happened. All I know is I was crying. Apparently, I didn't even say yes. I just like got down and hugged him and we were crying. So yeah, that's a story. Something nice and intimate at home because I ruined the two other plans.
A little bit out of your control, but yeah, that's so sweet. And then nice, like to go to dinner and celebrate with your family, I imagine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the table that we met at as well. So it was very special. And then just lots of regulars and my old bosses being there, and they've seen us from the day we met. And then to see that we're engaged. So that was really special. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
cool full circle moment, definitely. Had you been one of those girls that sort of dreamed about your wedding? Did you have a vision in mind for what you wanted? And yeah, where did you kind of start with planning?
Yeah, I wasn't always really like, oh, I can't wait to get married one day. When I met Tom, I was like, I can't wait to get married to you. I hadn't thought about the actual day itself, but a few years before getting engaged, I saw Mantells. I think I must have seen it on Instagram or something, and I was nowhere near in the realm of wedding planning yet. But I saw Mantells Mount Eden, and I was like, oh, I'm getting married there one day. That's the place. Show Tom, and he was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So yeah, when it did come into wedding planning, I did have a very clear vision of what I wanted. It was the vintage Italian, old money, intimate, like kind of luxe look. Color palette, I was very, it needs to be lilacs, periwinkles, and soft blues, and the white and black. I have a violet sapphire as my ring, so I'm very into the purple hues and the gem colors. Yeah, so that was the vibe. I knew exactly how I wanted it to look from the get go. Yeah, I know exactly what I wanted.
So good. Love a decisive bride. You've mentioned like a couple of things there and knowing the venue so early on. That's amazing. Was there any other kind of important elements that were your sort of top priorities for the day?
Yeah, it was definitely color palette. Dress was a big thing for me. And the food, everyone had said that Mantel's food was incredible. So I was like, oh,
So good.
that's sorted. Don't have to worry about that. And guest enjoyment was really important to me. I think the flow of the day and them being entertained and them feeling the atmosphere and the vibe and that everything was genuine and sentimental, like that's what we really wanted, was their experience. I come from a hospitality background as well, so making sure we put on a good party was quite important to me. But yeah, just the venue as well, like we really cared about the venue. And when we saw Mantel's, it was the first and only venue we went to, and we weren't even really sure when we were going to get married. We were like, oh, maybe in the next 2 years. And then as we talked about what dates they have available, we were just like, let's actually just pick this date right here. And it was a year and a half out. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so good. Such a beautiful spot and yeah, amazing food. I've yeah, shot a few weddings there over the years, but yeah, they always do such an incredible job and it feels like a little slice of Europe in Auckland.
That's exactly what we wanted. Because if we had all the money in the world, our ideal spot would have been Lake Como. That's just
Mm,
where we've always wanted to, go. And then we said that would be the best place to get married. But yeah, Mantel's really feels like it has that
yeah.
vibe. And that's what we
Yeah.
wanted.
I love it. So good. Can you, yeah, tell us a bit about your wedding outfits, your dress? How was that whole experience
Oh,
shopping? Yeah.
so much to say about the dress. So much to say. So I had a corset dress from Natalie Rose Bridal. The designer was Miranda West. I could honestly do a whole session with you talking about Natalie because I love her
So good.
so much. She's the best in the biz and she just loves her brides and she loves what she does. She's so passionate, so thoughtful, so intentional with everything. That whole experience was apart from the wedding day itself, that whole experience, the bridal journey and the dress was the best part of wedding planning and the wedding journey for me. It was so incredible. She just yeah, she's just out of this world. I had messaged her long before even looking into wedding dresses just because I wanted some advice. And there was something about her page that it just didn't feel like a bridal store. It had her personality in it. And there was something about her that I was like, I just feel comfortable sending her a message and asking her for advice about wedding stuff. And she came back to me with like voice notes, voice notes, voice notes. And from that, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to come in soon. And she went out of her way to make an appointment for me. I'd only booked like a general appointment, not one that was with her, which is a different like tier of service. But she ended up coming to that appointment, and she was just greeted me and my mum at the door, gave us big hugs, big smile, and it just felt really genuine too. It didn't feel like this is her business, so she's trying to like perform. She just really, really cares like that. And I was very specific about the kind of dress I wanted. I wanted a corset dress. I was happy for it to be like slim and fitted, but I felt like the ball gown was more my vibe. And that's exactly what Natalie said to me when she first met me in person was, I think we're going to go for a princess dress. And I was like, yes, because I, yes. um, and she was just amazing. The whole process, like I went back and forth on little tweaks on the dress and things that I wanted to customize. And she was just so patient with me. We were messaging at like 11 o'clock at night sometimes. And just for her to take that time and care with me just meant the world. And just also how she was with my mum was really special for me because she was just so sweet with my mum. And yeah, I did go to other bridal stores, and Auckland has an incredible range of bridal stores, but Natalie was just, it was, yeah, there was no competition. Pretty like, yep, this is my dress. And out of it, I'm very, very lucky because Natalie and I have become good friends, and her new line of dresses came out and she asked me to be in the campaign for it, which is really cool. We've done some content shoots at her store for other dresses that are in her store. So I'm very lucky for that. And we message like a lot as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan if you can't tell.
So good. No, I love hearing that. She's an incredible person. And yeah, I've spoken to quite a few of her brides on here now and had her on the podcast as well. But yeah, everyone just raves about her, and I think makes such a difference. Just someone that really cares, like genuinely looks after you. She's not just after a quick sale. She's like a relationship builder. Yeah, we love you, Nat. We go on and on about it.
Love her so
But yeah, I think, you don't get that service at every store. There are lots of incredible ones, but there are some I've heard horror stories about as well. But yeah, Nat's just incredible, and you looked
magical.
stunning as well. Yeah, and I think it's such a once in a lifetime like journey and experience to go on. So happy that that was super positive for you, and then yeah, becoming friends just a bonus out of it as well. And yeah,
So
gorgeous
lucky.
campaign shots I saw of you as well of her new line. So yeah, everyone should check that out as well. She's got some stunning pieces. Yeah, love that. And did you have a bridal party as well? How was that process choosing them? Did you find that quite easy?
Yeah, super easy for me. I'm very lucky. I have a huge village. I have lots of beautiful, amazing friends, but I have my pockets of really, really close friends. So it was quite easy to pick them. I picked my two best friends, Tyler and Georgia, and my baby sister and my mum as my bridesmaids. Yeah, so I was my mum's bridesmaid for her wedding when I was like 12 or 13, I think. And it meant the world to my baby sister as well that she was a bridesmaid. So yeah, super simple selection process for me. I was quite lucky with that.
I love that. So special. And how about the guest list? I know there's like a limit at Mantells, but yeah, how did you go with choosing it? Did you find that quite hard to narrow down?
Yeah, well, we were quite intentional with choosing Mantells because we did want an intimate wedding. We didn't want something where it's like, oh, we have to invite so many people that maybe we don't even talk to, or we have to invite like friends of our family that we don't even know. So we were very intentional with our guest list. We were quite cutthroat as well. It was immediate family and our closest friends only. So we were 68 guests out of 70 that were invited. Yeah.
Yeah, another decisive bride thing. So good, because that can be such a tricky part. But
Very decisive.
yeah, amazing. Can you kind of walk us through the big day, maybe that sort of week leading up to it, how it all went? Yeah, any highlights or favorite moments?
The day was incredible. Everything went so incredibly smooth on the day. So yeah, I just had such an incredible line of vendors as well. It's so important to pick the right vendors because they're the ones that contribute to the magic of your day. And I felt like I just really did a good job with picking the right people. Yeah, it was a super chill day. I didn't wake up stressed or overwhelmed. I was pretty calm the whole time. Woke up at 7 a.m., crawled into my bridesmaid's bed, and we just like giggled and reminisced in bed for a good hour. Went out for some coffee and light breakfast. Came back to the room, listened to music, and we had Kate Soley and Amelia from Boutique Bride. Incredible, best of the best. Love them so much, and they also just bring such a calm presence to the morning as well. Like they can really read the room and know like how to navigate, because it could be a really tense space or it could be quite anxious, and they just contributed to me feeling really calm on the morning of. I got the zoomies for a little bit and then disassociated for a little bit, like wasn't anxious but just kind of sat there while getting my makeup done and just went non-verbal while I kind of processed everything. Tom was really sweet and sent a letter to the room. So yeah, he just wrote a really nice note for me to read, but he did it at the most inopportune time because Kate was doing my eye makeup.
Oh.
I was kind of tearing up, and then I was like, no, no, I'm gonna cry. We didn't do a first look. Tom was pretty adamant about wanting to see me down the aisle for the first time because he was really excited about seeing my dress for the first time as well. So he wanted to have that feeling as I walked down. Did a first look with my bridesmaids, with my dad and my stepdad and my baby brother. And then yeah, we did like a photo shoot out the front of the convent hotel with the bridesmaids and stuff. I found that part quite overwhelming. I think it's just because I'm in a massive dress. It's a hot day and you're being like told to pose certain ways, and I was just the posing part of the day I really struggled with for photos. All my favorite photos are the more candid ones rather than the portrait photos. We had yours sincerely for the Rolls Royces that came to pick us up and take us to the venue. And also a great service. The driver we had was incredible. He was so fun. Let us blast our music, and he was also really good because as we're driving there and people can see I'm a bride, he would like slow down and people would be like, woo! And like honking at us and stuff. So anytime there was a little moment, he would just slow down and let us enjoy the attention. Everyone said to me, a wedding never runs on time. So be aware that you're going to be behind, blah, blah, blah. And I'm the most organized person in the world. Like I'm super type A, very on top of things, and got there on the dot. And the ceremony started on the dot 4 p.m., which is very typical of me. And we had an incredible violinist. So Mag was there as guests arrived, and she was playing very just like romantic Italian old school vibe music. She just nailed it. I was very specific about the songs that I wanted and how I wanted guests to feel when they come into Mantells, and yeah, she absolutely nailed it. I was very specific about wanting the Godfather theme playing just before the ceremony started and all the guests being in that courtyard. And that went really well. Everyone still is raving about the violinist. So yeah, she was really incredible. We also had the groomsmen out the front greeting guests as they arrived. So that was really nice. Standing in their nice suits, all in a line at the entrance, that beautiful Mantells entrance with our linen sign out the front. The ceremony went perfectly on time as well, and had the most insane binder with like a timeline and everything that everyone needed to know. And a lot of the day going on schedule had to do with Georgia, who was our celebrant and also our coordinator for the day. And Georgia, again, it's the same with Nat. Like I can't rave enough about her and how much I love her. Georgia just like, she just made the day. The day wouldn't have been as perfect as it was without her. And even everyone was coming up to me during cocktail hour and the dance floor being like, oh, is that one of your close friends that you've asked to help with the wedding? Because me and her have become like that as well. And she just knew all of the guests by name. She didn't miss a beat on the day. She really nailed everything. And, if you see the binder I've made, she had a lot to go through because I like things a certain way and I'm a massive perfectionist, and she just nailed it. She didn't miss a thing and just even did more than that too. So the ceremony was really beautiful. She created such an intimate and like sentimental and kind of emotional ceremony, and it was very, very true to us. Like, it had the humor in there, it had the sentimental moments. Vows we wrote, I think, like a couple of days before. But I'm glad we did, because I'm really happy with our vows and the things that we said to each other, because again, it reflected us quite intimately. And one thing that I did for the ceremony as well, which I like highly recommend to everyone, is I had my family and friends on the opposite side so that they could see me rather than see the back of me. And yeah, our family members were really appreciative of that, because they said that they've been to other weddings where they can't even see the person that they're there for, but they got a full shot of me, which is great. And yeah, did the typical like, please don't have your phones out during the ceremony, because we really just wanted the photographer to capture that. And also such a huge shout out to Hannah from Dear Brides, because we kind of very late in the wedding planning process, I think it was honestly 2 months before the wedding, we booked Hannah, because we were really on the fence about what a content creator is and if we even need one for the big day. If I can recommend anything, it is get a content creator for your big day. Oh my God, I love everything that she's given us. Just the fact that the next day we could post a reel of the wedding, and that reel she made for us just captured the day so perfectly. She got the whole vibe and just nailed the briefing again. Like I said, I had the best vendors and they just understood everything. So yeah, we've got really beautiful shots from the ceremony. We took a moment, we walked down the aisle, and then we took a moment in the front lobby just to take a breath, give each other a hug, and talk to our groomsmen and bridesmaids, just to like take in the moment. And then we walked back out to do a champagne tower. Another thing that I highly recommend, a champagne tower is just so fun and so beautiful for photos as well. So we use Champagne Towers New Zealand, which is Mackenzie Smith. Again, she's so lovely. I'm so happy we went with her, and kicked off cocktail hour by handing out the champagne glasses to everyone. And I thought that Tom and I weren't going to be able to enjoy cocktail hour, that we were just going to be too busy taking photos. But Amanda Thomas, our photographer, she's so onto it. She really let us have our time and be able to go around and talk to everyone, and then brought us in for like the big group shots. And then we were still mingling for a bit, and Tom and I looked at each other like, oh, shouldn't we be doing our like portraits just us soon? And I even went up to Amanda to ask her, and she was like, no, like, you guys enjoy yourselves, our portraits won't take long. And she took us away for like 10-15 minutes right at the end of cocktail hour to do those photos. And I just really appreciated that, because I get FOMO, and I was like, I don't want to miss out on cocktail hour at my own wedding. But yeah, we didn't have like activities, we just had the live violinist. And I said that for cocktail hour I would really love for the whole Bridgerton vibes, like the modern music but on a violin. Again, she nailed it. Everyone can't stop talking about her. But I made also like a sip and solve, and made the questions only certain people would know the answer. So it got people mingling and like trying to collaborate to figure out what the answer is. So that was really fun. And we've got really cute photos of our guests interacting with each other. And then, yeah, more portraits. We went into the reception. Food was so good. So good. We didn't get to eat too much. But speeches, we actually had quite a few speeches. We had, I think it was like 8 or 10, but it was like parents doing it together and stuff like that. But we split it up by doing family first at the start of dinner, and then our siblings and our best man and maid of honor at the end of dinner, to like kind of kick it off into the rest of the night. So yeah, that was really good. Great flow again. And then we went off for half an hour for a sunset photo shoot on Mount Eden. And those photos are really stunning. Again, that was another thing that I was worried about for flow of the day. I was like, oh, is it going to be weird if we just leave our wedding for half an hour? Like, people are going to notice. And since the wedding's gone, people are like, we didn't even know that you left, because it was during dinner and they're still eating and mingling. So it was the perfect timing. And when we came back, it was the cake cutting, and we did that in the courtyard. And this is one of my favorite moments of the night, was the cake cutting, because again, I planned everything to a T, and I wanted Unwritten playing in the background while we cut the cake. And I wrote in my notes, like, everyone must sing. But it's not something where I was like, everyone sing while we cut the cake. We were cutting the cake and everyone just started singing and jumping up and down and like screaming at us and stuff. So that was a really beautiful moment for us, just to like see all of our loved ones in the courtyard, everyone singing while we cut a cake. We did a first dance. I don't like talking about the first dance. It's because we're so not dancers, and we hated every moment of rehearsing that. Like, we just gave up on it, and we'd learnt the first bit of our song, and then we're like, should we just sway back and forth for the rest of it? So we'd put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get it right, and we kept messing up every rehearsal, and we're like, oh my God, this is going to be awful on the day. And then got to the wedding night, we didn't mess up. It was fine, but I don't even like looking at videos of it. I'm like, I don't want to see that. And then we just had such an incredible DJ. So went with DJ Lenski, and he's not like a wedding DJ. He's just a DJ that does gigs, and highly rate that if you're wanting to not get into the whole like wedding tax kind of thing, because wedding DJs can be quite pricey. We were just like, we've got specific songs that we really want. He's a DJ that we know is our vibe, and we gave him a playlist that would like him to go through. But oh my gosh, the way that he could read a room, the dance floor was never empty. Everyone, this sounds gross, but everyone was dripping in sweat all night and just going nuts on the dance floor. After our first dance, I got on the mic and said, all of the couples, come to the dance floor. If you're not in a couple, just grab someone. And we kicked off the dance floor with Shaggy Angel, which is one of our favorite songs as well. And everyone went nuts for that. Everyone's jumping up and down, screaming the lyrics. And yeah, we had such a beautiful, elegant wedding. And then the nighttime just went feral. It just went nuts. Tom's like ripping off his shirt on the dance floor. It was a really, really good night. Yeah, the cake cutting and the dance floor is probably my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Sounds like such an incredible day. Love a wild party to finish it off as well. So yeah, so many cool moments in there. I can just imagine the cake cutting Unwritten as well. Such good like build up song.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, love that you were like so organized, but meant that you could like enjoy it and it all flowed on the day. Yeah, definitely key bit of advice if you can do that.
Definitely being organized helped a lot. I just had no worries on the day. I was like, oh, whatever happens, happens. I know nothing bad will happen because I'm so organized.
Yeah.
So
and yeah, what did you find like the hardest part about wedding planning? Is there anything you look back on and regret or would have done a little differently?
Well, this is kind of getting a little bit candid, but I found wedding planning to be really isolating and quite honestly quite a miserable experience. Like, I really did not enjoy it. I enjoy the logistics side and the planning side, but there was something about it. It's constantly on your mind all the time, 24/7. And I just felt really alone, because you're like, oh, no one cares about this as much as I do. And because I'm a perfectionist, this is a reflection on my character. I'm such a perfectionist that I was like, no, like I need to do it all by myself. But I don't know how to plan a wedding. And it's not for the faint of heart either. It takes up your whole mental capacity. Yeah, no one cares about your wedding as much as you do. It's only important to you. And I was very conscious of that. I was like, I don't want to be out in social situations and constantly talking about my wedding and being that person, blah, blah, blah. But looking back on it, I'd be like, no, I would just talk about my wedding and I'd vent to everyone and I'd ask for help and, turn to who I needed to, because I really did just keep it all to myself. And yeah, that I shouldn't have done that, because wedding planning should be a really beautiful experience. But yeah, it was not a good experience for me. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting to hear. I don't know, I always ask and want to hear everything about people's weddings, but I obviously live and breathe it. But yeah, I think people do, like, it is exciting. They do want to know, but I know what you mean. It's like your baby, your thing that you're organizing, you're going to care the most. So you don't want to become annoying with it or whatever. But yeah, just like getting people involved or delegating some things, getting a bit of help can be good. But yeah, so interesting to hear that experience.
I did everything by myself. Like I designed everything, like all of our stationery, our linen sign, our bar sign. Like I did everything. And like even just going through all the vendors and selecting the right people. I also didn't mention Sarah from Print and Pedal who did our flowers, and oh, just the way that she was so patient with me. I think I was on my sixth quote with her because I just kept I knew what I wanted color palette wise, but I didn't know what I wanted visually and how many flowers I wanted and what was going to fit in our budget. And she was just, oh, she was incredible through all of that. And on the day, the flowers were just, yeah, so stunning. I'm very lucky that I had her as my florist. But yeah, I did everything myself. Which, if you're a bride right now, don't do that. Don't do that. Delegate and ask for support.
Yeah, it's so many decisions as well, and you do just get that decision fatigue. And yeah, it's a lot of work. If you're working full time, you've got, your social life and everything else happening in your life. It is, yeah, it can feel like this burden or this, yeah, weight that's just constantly on you. So, yeah, I think a lot of brides will relate to that for sure. Did you guys have a set wedding budget? If you're happy to talk about what that was or how you found that kind of side of things.
Yeah, well, when we started talking about budgets, I was telling Tom, like, oh, weddings of this size are usually blah, blah, blah. And he was like, we're not spending that much on a wedding because for us, we were going to be funding our whole wedding, like paying it for it together. And I was like, no, weddings don't cost that much. And then as we were going through the planning, I was like, see, like things do cost this much.
Often
So
a bit of education for the
a little bit of
grooms. Yeah.
education for him because I did so much research during the wedding planning stage. Like I found every vendor, I found every bit of information. Like I knew my stuff. And so minimum 30, maximum 40. And the wedding ended up being 39K. So did pretty well with the budgeting.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
I was very, very tight on the budgeting and very intentional about where we were allocating the money as well. So yeah, we did a good job with that. And then I really did want a content creator. I really did want the champagne tower. So I was very, very careful with the budgeting because I wanted to be able to have money left over so we could afford those things. And I'm very glad we did. So yeah, the budgeting side of things went fine. And we did, want to pay for the wedding ourselves, but we were very fortunate that family did pitch in as well. So that took a massive weight off our shoulders in some of the budgeting. But yeah, so the 68 people, 40K, yeah. And we had like the best of the best vendors, I think. I might be biased. We really did have incredible vendors for the day, and I'm just so happy with everything. And wouldn't change a thing about the day as well.
So good. You definitely had a good bunch. I know most of your vendors and a bunch of them I've had on the pod as well. So yeah, all incredibly talented. We're very lucky, spoilt for choice in New Zealand. Did you guys go on honeymoon straight away, or what did planning that look like?
Yeah, we went straight away. That was another thing. Tom was like, "Oh, I don't think we need to go straight away. Like, don't you like usually couples don't go straight away, right?" And I was like, "We're going straight away. I need this. I need this." So wedding was on a Saturday. Sunday we like did pack down, relax, packed, and then we left Monday morning to go to Fiji, and we went to the Intercontinental in Ngātadola Beach. And planning wise, I think we just booked the flights 3 months before, booked it on booking.com, so we didn't have to pay for it straight away. We could pay as soon as we got there, which was really good because money that people had given to us instead of gifts, we were able to use that for the honeymoon. And yeah, so we basically had our honeymoon paid for by all the people we love, which was really cool. So when we'd be out for a nice fancy dinner, would message someone and be like, "This dinner's on you." Thank you for contributing to our honeymoon fund. So yeah, very simple planning. We didn't want to plan each day. We were like, we'll fly there, we'll show up, we'll do what we want to do on the day.
Yeah.
So very, very chill. It really reset my nervous system being there for 9 days and just sitting by the pool sipping cocktails.
So good. Needed that. Yeah, I feel like you've mentioned a few things already, but was there any sort of helpful resources that helped you during the planning journey with finding vendors or inspo, stuff like that?
When it came to finding vendors, I found Instagram really helpful. So the way that I researched was finding Auckland or New Zealand weddings that I really liked the look of, or I loved how the makeup was on this person, and I just went through their tagged vendors. So that's how I found everyone. And I just added every wedding vendor that I could think of or that I found on Instagram. And then, yeah, just kind of inquired, did a bit of research on who I think would have been a really good fit for me. So I did that. In terms of like resources, a lot of it was from TikTok, which is a good thing and a bad thing because, like I said, the wedding is the only thing on your mind all the time. And so when you're scrolling, and it's just all wedding stuff, it's just all you see, even when you're trying to take downtime. So I'd see a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I like how that looks, or I like that idea. And then some days I'd be like, get off my screen, like stop showing me this. So it was kind of a
The
good and a
algorithm knows. Yeah.
yeah, it was a good and a bad thing. But I did find it really helpful. And then for like resources, just a lot of my friends that have been married, I have gotten married, I went to them and was like, what worked on your day? What didn't? What was awkward? What didn't flow? The groom and the groomsmen outside greeting guests I got from one of my friends. That was just like a really nice touch to have on the day. So just little things like that. Yeah. Another resource that I use was actually your podcast as well. So anytime you had a bride come up that use the same vendors as me, especially Mantells, I always listen to those because it was good to hear the logistic sides of things and what brides' experiences were on the day with Mantells. And every experience is always positive with Mantells because they're so amazing. But yeah, your podcast was really helpful. So any brides listening, if you see vendors that brides have already used and they're on Lydia's podcast, you need to listen to that one because it is really, really helpful. Yeah. So thank you for
Oh,
that.
thank you for listening. So good. You've given some amazing advice already, but is there any other advice you would say to a couple planning their wedding at the moment?
Yeah, actually, I wrote it down because I have a few.
So
um,
good.
Guest lists, like I said, we were very cutthroat with our guest lists. But for us, it was who have we spoken to in the last year? Who have we hung out with in the last year? Have they even checked up on us or said happy birthday or just little things like that? And one of my friends said to me, if you went out to dinner with them and it was a really big bill, would you pay for their dinner? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Like, if you wouldn't go out to dinner with them, then maybe they don't need to be there on the day. And it can be quite easy to be like, oh, this is a big special day for me. This person and this person needs to be there. And Tom and I had a lot of conversations about who should be coming. You know, he was coming up with some people that are childhood friends, but he hasn't seen in like 10 years. And he's like, oh, but they have to be there. And I was like, but why? Why do they have to be there? Because we've got such a restricted guest list and you know we have to be very intentional about who we're inviting. So yeah, if you want to take them out to dinner, maybe they don't need to be at your wedding. For me, I kind of overly communicated with my vendors. Like I said with Sarah, we were on our sixth quote for flowers, and with Georgia, my celebrant and coordinator for the day, the binder I gave her had every little step. That timeline was like airtight. So hopefully that helped her throughout the day. So yeah, just communicate with your vendors. Be very just if there's a certain thing that you want for the day, then just communicate that. It's your wedding, you're paying for the service, so don't be too shy to express yourself and say what you want for the day. Yeah, get a wedding planner as well.
Yeah.
I was very alone, and throughout it I was just like, oh, I wish I had someone next to me that had all the answers, or like I wish I had my future self to tell me what to do, so I'm not just sitting here spiraling thinking all night about how does this work or what do I do here. But yeah, wedding planner is really good if you can fit that into your budget. For brides, bridal costs as well, because you've got your wedding costs, but then being a bride is very expensive. Like you've got your wedding dress, you've got your jewelry, you've got your shoes, you've got your beauty treatments, you've got your hair and makeup, you've got bridesmaids costs as well if you're paying for hair and makeup, gifts, if you're paying for their dresses. So there's a lot to consider in that. Like the wedding was 39K, but I think just for myself, my bridal cost was around like 12 or 13K, and that's the dress, my shoes, the bridesmaid stuff, like paying for all of that. So keep that in mind as well. And even with Tom being a groomsman, like he wanted to contribute towards his groomsmen suits and stuff. And so there's a lot of costs that you just don't even think about. You think that after you have your wedding day, that's it. There's actually so much to do after your wedding day that you don't even realize. So I'm still going through that, and we're almost I think we're like 2 months past the wedding day now, but like sending thank yous to everyone, getting your dress dry cleaned, getting your photos printed or put in albums and sending them to family and stuff. So there's so much that you've got to do. So it doesn't actually end there. So yeah. yeah, get a coordinator for the day, get a content creator, get a champagne tower. That's my advice.
So good. Love it. Yeah, so much great advice in there. So it's only been a few months, but what is married life like now? And do you feel like you got any of those post-wedding blues?
Married life is great. So Tom and I have talked about this because we've been together for almost 9 years, married at 8.5, but it does feel different. Before we got married, we're like, oh, it's not going to feel different at all. We've lived together, we've lived overseas, we've gone through, family stuff, we've gone through so much together. It's not going to be different once we get married. Now we're married, and it it feels more like solid and concrete, and you feel more like a unit rather than just being a couple. It's really like you're a unit now. You're building your life together in the most unromantic terms. It's kind of like a business partnership as well. Like I really feel like we're partners now. We're a unit, and we've got a life that we've got to build together. One day we'll have kids that we've got to raise. So yeah, it definitely feels really different in a good way, in a very good way. Yeah. Wedding blues, no.
No, relief. Sounds like the other side for you.
I am glad it's done and gone. And I had the time of my life. It is honestly the best day of my life. So all of the stress and the turmoil was worth it, but I'm so thankful it's done and I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah, frees up a lot of brain space. Yeah. So good. Sounds like, you were incredible at the organization and logistics and everything, and you've actually started a new business kind of on that side of things. Can you tell us what inspired that and, yeah, tell us a bit about it?
Yes. So after wedding planning and having the actual wedding day, I decided I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the day. I loved seeing everything come together. And I was so lucky throughout that whole journey to meet so many incredible vendors like Natalie and Sarah and Georgia. And just the creative side and the passion that they have for the wedding industry really like lit a spark in me. And the two main things that really inspired me was, yeah, one is that how I said I was quite miserable during wedding planning. I was really isolated, and saying how I wish I just had someone there for me to be my soundboard and bounce things off. That's kind of the main purpose of the business. Is that I want to be there for the brides the way that I didn't really have someone to fall back on. So it's kind of like it's a wedding planning service, but also kind of a support service in a way. Like it's a way to support brides and be there for them. And then the second part is I do really love planning and I'm really organized. And as much as the my wedding was quite a lot for me, I was good at the logistic sides of things. And the day came together so perfectly. Everything was on time. It was a great list of vendors. Everything came out so perfect. And I love everything about that day now. Yeah, I was just like, I would love to be able to help couples bring that to life. And I'm very decisive, but some people aren't, and so maybe they do need that guidance. And I've done so much research in the industry now, and I've met so many incredible people. I'm so lucky to have networked during that time that, yeah, I just feel like once I get the ball rolling a bit more, like I feel really confident that I'm going to be able to work with some amazing couples and bring a really beautiful day to life. So that's the inspo for it. It's Reverie Weddings. Reverie means to be pleasantly lost in your own thought or daydream. So yeah, that's where it came from, because the whole wedding day for me felt like a daydream. It was so dreamy, it was so perfect. And I just want the brides to not have that stressful part of the planning, but to have the beautiful day. So that I can just be there for them and help them get to that point. So yeah, that's Reverie Weddings.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. Yeah, it sounds like you'll be the perfect person for that. And yeah, it's such a fun industry to be a part of. So we're happy to have you. And we'll tag your business and everything so people can go and check you out. And I think just amazing having that organization logistics brain, and then I think you've got the like creative eye and aesthetic as well from seeing all your wedding and like everything you do. So yeah, so exciting. Very cool. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you wanted to add as we wrap up?
No, just wedding planning is a really beautiful experience. So I did let it get to me and kind of ruin the experience for myself. So please just don't be hard on yourself during the wedding planning time. Enjoy it with your partner as well, because I just took the load on myself and just shouldered it all. Take the time to enjoy it with your partner. You're going to make some really beautiful memories, and the day is always going to be worth it.
So good. Yeah, yeah. So great to have you on and sharing your experience and knowledge. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Lydia.